Hello and welcome to City Focus. I'm Diane Gonzalez. Cultivating a diverse group of leaders to strengthen our community. That's been the mission of Leadership Lincoln since 1985. The organization is now accepting applications for its 4 programs, and I have 4 guests here to tell us more about these opportunities and how you can participate. Laura Uredil is the program director for Leadership Lincoln. Nari Philivon has been in Youth Leadership Lincoln 22. She goes to Lincoln East High School and she'll be a junior next year. Dr. Lori Cook Benjamin is with Lincoln Executive Series 31, Class 31. She's with Doane University. And Stacy Klaus has been in Fellows Class 34 and she is with Olsson. Thank you all so much for being here. And Laura, we're going to, as usual, start with you and you tell us a little bit about the program. It all started with Leadership Lincoln back in the mid-'80s.
Yes. The founders of Leadership Lincoln, our very first board of directors back in the 80s, all had a conversation about who will be the next group of folks who are going to volunteer to serve on boards of directors and who will sit on city task forces and who will run for office and will volunteer to serve Meals on Wheels and all of the things that we need to keep our community strong and vibrant and healthy and moving forward, and to keep all these different pieces, the arts and animals and education and health and all the parts of our community that need people to buy in. And so the solution at the time was to found Leadership Lincoln. And so back in the day we only started with our 1 program and we just served 1 group of adults, but we have since grown to 3 different programs for different populations, different demographics of adults, and then also the youth program. So we're all about helping people to be more informed, more connected, and more engaged so that the community is always has a new pool of folks who are going out there and getting involved in whatever their personal passion or their personal mission might be, that there's more people finding ways to be involved in our community.
All right. Full disclosure, I was in the Fellows program. I was in A.L.L. 5, which was a long time ago, Stacy, considering you're in 34. Tell us about your experiences this year and what the program was like.
Yeah, it's been a really great opportunity, a networking opportunity, if you will, to meet a lot of the different people and participants in the program. First off, there's been a lot of great relationships built. What I've really enjoyed the most is the opportunity to get out in front of our community leaders, whether it's healthcare, education, public safety, all of those different assets in our community, and really learning what our leaders are doing in our community to help make it what it is day in and day out. It's given me an opportunity to really learn where I can get involved and fuel my passion and desire to get more involved in our community.
What's been maybe the most impactful or memorable thing that you participated in so far this year?
I think that I'm looking forward to the education this week, learning a bit more about the school system my children will be going into. So I'm looking forward to that, but one of the most fun was the delivering Tabitha Meals on Wheels with my group. We delivered to a real live Elvis impersonator, so that was fun. But we've had a lot of great opportunities to see things that we wouldn't typically get the opportunity to do so.
Okay. I think LES, was that the 2nd or
Yes.
3rd program? So the Lincoln Executive Series, which is Class 31 this year, was the 2nd program. And Laura, tell us why that program was formed.
So we started out with the Fellows class, which was serving adults, and it was all about helping people be more connected and more engaged. And pretty quickly, and I wasn't around at the time, but the staff of Leadership Lincoln at the time realized that there was kind of a different population that was looking to be more informed, but maybe was looking for a little bit less of the skill development. So, give me the down and dirty, what do I need to know, who are the connections that would help me be connected in the community. And so we started the executives cohort, which is intended for people at senior management levels who maybe are not looking for leadership skill development, but they're looking for connections, they're looking for information, they're looking to understand how the community operates. And so many of the, it's about half and half of the participants in the executives cohort are either new to the community, so they're doing a full-on introduction to Lincoln, or they're new to their leadership position, and so they're looking to build connections at that level.
Okay, Lori, were you new to the community or new to your position?
I Yes and
Both.
yes. Yes, yes.
How have you benefited from the program?
So I can only say that in the year's time that I've been involved in the Executive Series program, I have met already hundreds of people. I mean, the networking that I've encountered has been phenomenal. If I did not participate in this program, I can't imagine how I would have made those connections and those relationships. So professionally, I've greatly benefited from it. But I've also benefited from it personally. So there are, I think, 2 or 3 times where we come together, all of the groups come together, not the youth leadership, but the other 3. And I have formed friendships with some of the other participants in the group. So that's been a phenomenal experience.
Okay. The third adult program has been called Project A.L.L. since it was first started.
Yep.
The name is changing to Advocates. Tell us about Project A.L.L/Advocates and why the name change.
Sure. Project A.L.L. was started as a partnership, obviously, with the Community Health Endowment, Leadership Lincoln, and the Mayor's Office 12 years ago. And we have seen great success with the program, but we're just going to enter a new generation and try some new things and grow the program a little bit this year. So the name change is sort of denoting a growth opportunity for us. But the particular population that program serves is individuals from underrepresented populations or people who are looking to advocate on behalf of those underrepresented voices. So it has had a really laser focus in increasing diversity of community leadership. So increasing the diversity of the voices who sit on boards of directors for nonprofits and who volunteer for task forces for the city. I mean, the city, you would know, has 60 different committees and task forces that they need citizen input. And so we've tried to connect our alums from the advocates cohort into some of those opportunities to increase the representation. Next year's advocates cohort, which is the new name, it's going to be a little bit of a longer program. It's traditionally been, or historically been, an abbreviated, laser-focused, quickly get in, get out, and serve. And we're going to spend a little bit more time together and do some parts of our community that we haven't done in the past. So for example, things like education, which the fellows in the executive series did this month in their seminars were themed around education. We haven't traditionally taken the time to cover that issue with our advocates participants, but there are obviously many, many ways to be involved in our community around education issues. So we're going to start covering a little bit more ground with our advocates participants next year.
All right. Well, finally, let's talk about the youth program. Youth Leadership Lincoln has been going on for 22 years. It's fun now to see some of the kids who started out in YLL now become educating you.
I went through the youth program when I was in high school, when I was a Lincoln High Link. So
and some of them got a good start and are now actually in leadership positions, so it's a lot
absolutely.
of fun.
100%.
So why was that program started?
Well, Dean Finnegan was on the board of directors of Leadership Lincoln at the time, and one of the challenges that the board was looking at the time, we had these adult cohorts, and there was a question of, should there be a youth cohort? Do we need youth engagement in our community? Are there other programs that are maybe doing leadership development with youth? And so she led the charge at the time where they looked at other programs and kind of had that conversation, and they decided that their community would really benefit from engaging, connecting, getting youth more engaged in our community. And she then became the first coordinator, the first staff person for that program. So Dean has known me since I was 14 because I was in the program when I was in high school. And so starting out from that opportunity back in the 90s, we've been running since then. And the issue has never changed, that we don't need to wait for youth to become adults to be engaged, that there's a role for them, there's a place for them, there's an opportunity for youth voices to be a part of our community.
Nari, thank you so much for being patient. We're finally getting to you. Tell us about your life at Lincoln East and what you're involved in already.
Currently, I am a sophomore at Lincoln East. During the fall, I am actually a varsity girls golfer, and then after season's over, I go and help out in the athletic training room. I'm a student trainer for our wrestling team.
So you're already pretty involved.
Yes.
What have you learned from being involved in Youth Leadership Lincoln?
And absolutely everything from health to just how our government runs. And I think all the opportunities that they've given us from every single field of government, health, education, environmental sciences. I mean, when you're put into Youth Leadership Lincoln, you're involved with 41 other kids who from different schools all around LPS and even Lincoln Lutheran, Raymond Central, Norris. All of us come together and we're just all very different, but we bounce off each other. We learn from each other, and when we're going to seminars every month, we come out, we go in learning, knowing one thing, but then we come out knowing something else, something that we may not have known even before.
Mm-hmm.
What are you hoping to pursue after you graduate from high school?
Definitely a 4-year, possibly UNL. I do not know yet, but I think with youth leadership, it's definitely showed me some fields I've potentially wanted to go into, whether it's business related or one of my passions is health sciences, so I may want to go back into that, but we'll see.
Okay. All right, there's some questions I want to ask all the participants now. How are you currently involved in the community, and how would you like to become involved, Stacy?
Yeah, I would, currently I serve on the Young Professionals Board for Junior Achievement, but I would like to continue to look into the education and see different ways in which I can get involved there. Both I have a passion for children and I want to help where my children will be going to school.
Okay. Lori, what all are you involved in here in the community?
So currently I'm involved in Lincoln Rotary 14, which is a very busy organization. I'm getting to meet a lot of wonderful people. They're keeping me very busy. We just had an event in April called Rise, Shine, Give, which was to raise some money for an area in Lincoln. We also have other opportunities. We have speakers every Tuesday, so that's been another great way for me to network and learn more about what is happening in Lincoln. And Lincoln is definitely a growing, innovative, forward-thinking community. And so for me, coming in as a new administrator and new to the community, I've been very, very pleased.
Has it changed your perspective? Has it changed your idea of what Lincoln is?
Well, I think because of the executive series, I've been exposed to so much more information than I realized that Lincoln had to offer. So in that way, yes. I mean, there's just a lot of opportunities here, not only to get involved in terms of organization, but in terms of businesses, in terms of our educational systems. There's just a lot to offer in the city of Lincoln.
Okay. Narit, what would you say to a student at Lincoln East or any other place, any other school here, who is thinking about applying? What would you say to encourage them to apply?
I would say we are young, we're the youth, and we're the future. I think we all have a voice and we all have something to say, and we're the future basically, so why don't we start making changes right here in our community? Get involved, get out there, and just branch out. And with youth leadership, it's definitely given me connections and opportunities that I honestly would not have known I would have unless I came in and I applied and I stepped out of my comfort zone. So I think if you're thinking of applying, do it. Just do it.
Is it fun?
It's definitely fun. I think the best part about youth leadership, I think all of my class would agree because we're the best, we're the best, was definitely retreat. Our bond as a class, we've heard multiple times, it would not have happened without our retreat. You know, we're dangling 40 feet up in the air with 5 other people, and we're saying, trust me, trust me. And so I think our bond as a class really transpired throughout the entire year, and even till this day, even after graduation, we're still together. We're still planning and just having fun with each other.
That's great.
They did a ropes course. It was safe. They went out climbing trees. And just
It was all safe. Okay. Just to make sure.
We only got rock, paper, scissors.
I know. We got gypped.
Lori, what would you say to someone who is thinking about applying for the executive series?
Well, if you are interested in civic understanding, if you want to be actively involved, if you're looking for collaborative learning and building relationships, I mean, the executive series is definitely for you.
Okay. And Stacy, what would you say to someone who's interested in applying for fellows?
I would say absolutely step outside of your comfort zone. It's a great opportunity, again, to get in front of the leaders of our community. Helps you to feel more comfortable in engaging them and talking with them. It gives you that door to open. Say, hey, I heard you talking when we were at Tabitha or when we went in to CHI. And it just opens it and makes it a lot more comfortable to have those conversations.
Okay, now for some of the nuts and bolts, we want to talk about the information first for Youth Leadership Lincoln. Applications are available online and at all the high school main offices. The website there is leadershiplincoln.org. There are also some orientation sessions coming. The one for the Youth Leadership Lincoln is from 6 to 7 p.m. May 1st at Eiseley Branch Library. You can send some questions to Laura at info@leadershiplincoln.org. Again, the website is there, and also the phone number 402-441-4661. Now, the applications for the adult programs, the 3 adult programs, are available online. They're at leadershiplincoln.org. And there are some recruitment open houses coming up. Actually, one recruitment open house, 5:30 to 7 p.m. May 16th at Olsson. That's at the brand spanking new headquarters at 601 P. It's a great facility there on the 3rd floor. Again, we want to tell you about the application deadlines again. The application for the youth program is May 17th, and the application deadline for the fellows, the executives, and the renamed advocates program is May 31st. What will people find out at the orientation and at the open houses?
Not everyone understands what we're going for, or they might have questions. Sometimes it's a very, it's not a mission kind of a question, but it's a logistics, attendance policy, or tell me about this application process. So we want to just offer our participants, both the adults and the youth cohort, an opportunity to ask us questions, to get a better understanding of what it is that we try to accomplish, what are our intended outcomes with our programs. Certainly with the adults, people might not always know what cohort they best fit into. So we want to give everyone a chance to ask us questions before they apply.
And I should say, some people may be thinking, oh, I don't fit with this program, I'm not a good fit, they would never pick me. One of the things you do is strive for diversity in each and every class. So you may think you're not suited for this, but it may turn out to be a really great thing that you do.
You know, as an organization that is looking to strengthen Lincoln, that doesn't happen with just one population. That doesn't happen with just only bankers. You know, it happens when everyone in all different sectors and all different levels of socioeconomic and all different schools from throughout our county, when everyone is participating and contributing and engaging. So yeah, absolutely, we are looking for a broad representation. Anyone who wants to know their community better, wants to meet people, wants to be engaged, then the program is for you. That's all you need.
Thank you so much, Laura, Nari, Lori, and Stacy. Thank you. This has been a great discussion about the wonderful ways that Leadership Lincoln is improving our community. It's been doing it since 1985.
Diane, we should ask you, what was your best experience from your fellows' experience?
We did a ride along with a police officer, and we actually stopped a car and arrested the man. He had like an outstanding, we arrested him for something with his license plate. He had an outstanding warrant. We had to get out of the car so he could get in and then have another officer pick us up. So that was pretty exciting. Yeah. That one sticks out in my mind. We didn't get to dangle in the air, but it was pretty cool. Yeah, definitely. And like I said, I was in LL5, and I still have memories from the year we spent together, and still have some great friends from that class. So
absolutely,
you're all welcome to the club now, right?
Yeah.
No secret handshake, just a lot of networking and good friendship.
Yeah.
So thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Again, where you want to go for information is leadershiplincoln.org. The phone number again, 402-441-4661. And you can send your questions to info@leadershiplincoln.org. That's it for this edition of City Focus. Thank you for joining us.